Hello, welcome back to Soul and Self Collective. I am Elizabeth. I am a Hmong shaman who has her altar down, and this is my Husha, also my husband.
And I'm Scott. And yeah, today we're going to finally get into the video that we talked about for a
I
long time.
know, forever. So sorry about the delay. But before we get started, just want to let you know happy holidays and happy New Year's to you who watch our video and come along with our journey.
Yeah.
Also wanted to let you know that after this video that releases on Wednesday, we are going to take a 2-week break just so that we can spend time with family and our kids and just really ground ourselves in our new environment. And so hopefully you guys don't mind. And we're just going to take a little 2-week breaks. So before we went on to our journey to Locke, I dragged Scott and my shaman sister Anna and her husband to go with me to this lantern festival in Sacramento, which was totally fun. And I loved all the vendors there, and there was lanterns everywhere.
Yeah.
We went during the daytime in the morning so that we could make it to the Locke, city of Locke, because the museum it closes kind of early. I think like 4:30 or something like that.
And I will preface that too. We did go during the day because we wanted to walk around the buildings and not just kind of walk down
meander
a
outside,
dark street. Yeah.
Peeking in the windows.
So everything we did film was during the day. We didn't really go back and explore it at night, which is a shame, but that's why we went during the days, because everything was open. But yeah, the Lantern Festival was quite fun. It was fun watching Theo and our kids run around.
Yeah.
Going to all the different shops and trying the different foods that was there. I thought it was pretty fun.
I love how adventurous Anna is. She like bought these
soft shell crab.
Deep fried soft shell crab, which was the weirdest experience ever.
Yeah, it was interesting.
The flavor was really good, but I just don't know about the shell. It wasn't like chips or anything. It literally still tasted like obviously crustacean shells. So.
But we ate them. We powered through.
Yeah.
Yeah, the taste was good. I agree. So the reason we were even talking about Locke in the first place is because we went and drove by. We watch supernatural things on YouTube, and I noticed that one was nearby. And this was before Liz was a shaman, before she rose. And I was like, hey, it's like an hour away. Let's go give it a shot.
Yeah.
And we went, and that experience was different for you because you said it felt like things were trying to grab at you. And
yeah, well, when we first went there, it felt like there was entities that was checking us out and was trying to like get into the car,
Yeah, and it felt strange enough to where we were like, okay, let's not get out of the car. And we just kind of drove home, and there was a lot of.
Well, he wanted to get out of the car. I didn't want to get out of the car. I said absolutely not.
I was like, let's go eat at the restaurant, which is no longer there. But, but that's what prompted me to want to go back now that she's risen. Because I was like, oh, now that you're risen, are you going to feel different things? Are you going to have different experience now that you have those protections around you? And what was your expectations going back?
Going back, I thought I was going to have that eerie feeling again.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Honestly, I thought you were going to sense or feel a lot more, and I was going to be able to ask you more questions about like what you were feeling, and I guess use you as a medium.
Okay, I just want to put out there, I am not a medium. I do not have like that kind of deep psychic ability. Like, I am not a mind reader.
That's true. So I don't know what I was expecting, but I just really wanted to see the difference between Liz prior to raising and her raising with her guides around her, if there was going to be a difference. So that was my main brain. And then Anna was excited because she likes to hunt things and go ghost hunting. But to get into a little bit more information about Locke and what it is, pretty much this is a little town that's in the Sacramento Delta area, and it was started in the 1900s, early 1900s, during the Chinese Inclusion Act. That's when they pretty much were not hiring Chinese people to do anything, and they had to band together. So this is
Oh,
the
that's a shame.
yeah. So this is one of the few like little towns that actually exist that was fully built up by the Chinese immigrants, and that's how it got started, and that's why it was there. They disbanded together, and they were working on the fields, and they were doing what they can. They pretty much built all of the berms and all of the deltas in that
Mm.
area. So that, I thought that was kind of cool too. But that's a little background of it.
When you went inside the rooms, can you share a bit about like what you saw when you were recording and whatnot?
Yeah. And the first building we went into, which was like the museum type thing, it had pretty much the history, some artifacts about what life was like, the different decades that was there. They had little rooms that was set up in each decade for what life was like there, and just some artifacts, some clothing, some cool like drums and gongs and stuff that they had going there. And they were really into mahjong. They had a lot of tables and like little cards from back then, which was kind of cool. And that was pretty much it for the boarding house. They called it the boarding house. I guess that's where a lot of the immigrants went to stay and live while they were here working in the fields before they went back.
Mm.
The other building, there was like three more buildings that we went into. One of them was the schoolhouse, which
Mm-hmm.
was right next to the boarding house, and it was kind of cool because they had that one still set up to where it looked like everyone was ready for class. Um, we're gonna get into that a little bit in the interview with Anna, but
Yeah.
everyone decided to sit on the desk and it was like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, so that schoolhouse was cool. The background of it had pretty much information about who was there, um, why they were there, why they were going to school. So I thought that one was
Mm-hmm.
really cool. The other notable one was the gambling house slash opium den, and that one had the wildest floors. It was very up and down. They still had some of the tables that they used to use, and that one was the one where it had like the money room, which is the only room that felt truly uncomfortable besides the opium den. But even the opium den just felt weird to me. I was the only one that felt awkward in that one. Everyone else was more worried about the money room. Um, but yeah, that one was a cool building. I enjoyed asking for permission because we weren't supposed to technically go upstairs into the opium den. They had it closed off for some reason, but I just went and asked one of the ladies that was working. And now we're going to get into the interview that we did with Anna a few days ago. And
Oop. So, hi, Anna.
Hello.
So nice
Sorry,
to
I'm in my
see
bedroom.
you.
It's the quietest place in the house, so.
It's okay. It's been a while, so happy that you can join us for this conversation because we've been trying to make this video for a really long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
We moved, so we're no longer near you, and we can't do this in person with each other.
I know, sad that you guys are gone.
I know. But to everyone who's watching, again, Anna is my shaman sister. She's on her level 2, going to level 3 soon. And then today we are just gonna kind of dive in about what she saw and felt at Locke. And Anna has this knack for ghost hunting, like somebody here. And yeah.
What what makes you interested in ghost hunting? Why are you so drawn to it?
I don't know. I've always just been drawn to it, if that makes any sense. I mean, growing up in a haunted house and just experienced stuff, I think just getting desensitized. I think growing up in a haunted house kind of desensitized me to it. So it doesn't really bother me. And then I don't know. I like crime and murder and I like paranormal. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just something that I find interesting.
Are you afraid of it? Or were you afraid of it at one point?
When I was little,
Okay.
now I'm just like, I still get startled if something happens, but other than that, I'm just like, whatever.
I
So,
know when we were in Locke, there was the money room. Why
oh
didn't
yeah.
you want to go into that one at first?
My guides were like, "Don't go." I'm like, I'm gonna go. I start marching. They're like, "Don't go," and so I was like, okay, fine, I'll back up. And so then I turned away.
Wait, then you eventually did go in there.
Yeah, I eventually did go. They were still telling, they were like, don't go in there. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go because I gotta get over this.
Was the money room worse or was upstairs worse?
The money room.
See, the money room is worse, huh?
I
Once we
give you
got
kudos.
upstairs, I was just like, this is it.
I know. I was like, why'd they block it off? Because
Yeah.
they had it blocked off. But
Uh-huh.
I know for the money room, because I walked in when you said you didn't want to walk in.
Hmm.
I got attacked by bugs, and I was like, as soon as I walked in there, they just started slamming into my face, and I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
is this what it is? This is what I was so irritated because of all the bugs that were in there.
Ew. Like flies?
There were like flies and mosquitoes and just gnats. I don't know.
Ew.
I
It's
don't know
gross.
if that was part of it, but then
Yeah.
they kept showing me like a man. They kept showing me like a man that was in there. And so and he was like in trouble or something. So they were just like, don't go in there. Oh, okay. But I'm always one of the ones that I'm like, I don't like being scared of anything or staying afraid of something. So then I
Yeah.
will purposely go and do it and just get it over with.
I like it. I like it.
See, my guys, they told me like don't go in there whatsoever, like going down into the parlor at all. And so I give you kudos for being able to go down there. Was there any like repercussion or anything that followed you guys back that you had to
Mm-mm,
take care of?
mm-mm. I feel like no matter where I've gone, like, even when I was doing my travel nursing, even I would get entities that would visit more like out of curiosity for some reason, but then they would never like directly approach me for some reason. So I feel like I never have, or knock on wood, I have not had any evil entities um follow me,
Mm.
just to follow me. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
When we were going, like prior to us going to Locke, what were your expectations?
I don't know that maybe I would sense more stuff. I don't know if it was because we went during the day.
That did
But it was a
suck.
little underwhelming. I'm like, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was, because I've never been during the day. I was amazed at how like whitewashed it was.
Mm,
There was a lot of people there, and you're just like, it was weird seeing everything talked about from the Chinese lens, but then it was you didn't see any Asians or anything there. It was just it felt more like a tourist trap to me
yeah.
personally.
Hmm. Same. Same.
When you were done, were you still underwhelmed, or were you just like, okay?
Yeah, I was underwhelmed, and then I started thinking about the Airbnb that they have there.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, you brought that. You found an Airbnb that said we could stay there all night, and I was,
There's like 6 rooms on that very last building down that street, I think.
Oh, okay. I think I know which one
Mhm.
you're talking about.
see, it'd be cool if we could stay there and they would like open the buildings up so you can like walk through it. But I'm sure I'd have to like call someone and
Probably.
figure out
I,
how to
w-
set it up.
Yeah,
I
you
wonder if
can't
there's
do
like a
it.
waiver.
Right? So when you fall down those awful stairs or go into that room and trip.
Yeah.
Are the stairs not sturdy? Or are they just old and crickety?
They're just old and very narrow.
Yeah, it was very
Oh,
narrow.
very narrow. So
Hmm.
like the Winchester house.
I've never been to the Winchester House,
You never been to the Winchester house?
mm-mm,
Oh, wow. Okay.
We'll go
but
to
very narrow.
Hmm.
how was the foundation in the casino was super wonky too.
It was wonky. I was just like, we're gonna fall somewhere because it was just like, it reminded me of like the fun house,
Yeah.
like fun house that where everything's warped.
Yeah, like
The
they
floor
didn't
was
flatten
warped.
anything. They just like, oh, there's a rock here. We're just gonna build a mound over it.
Yeah, that I think that freaked me out a little bit more because I'm like, I don't want to fall through this because I don't know what's under.
Yeah. So at any time during that, was the money room the only time where you felt uneasy, or were there other times?
Just mainly the money room.
Just the money room.
Hmm. And then I felt bad because I'm like, hey, let's go upstairs. Let's just open the little gate and go upstairs. And then I left you. And I went to go visit all the stores and I caught up with Liz. And then I'm just thinking back in my head, I'm like, what if Scott fell down like the floor? What if there was a crack and he fell down? I haven't seen him. I started
See him.
worrying about you.
No, Anna was like egging me on because there was a close sign there, and she was like, "Well, just move it and just go." And I was like, I was about to do it, and she was like, "No, no, 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 don't! I'm the troublemaker. Don't."
Yeah.
And then I left, and I was like, "Man, I drove all the way out here. I'm just gonna go ask someone. I'm gonna go ask that old lady that was running the little pawn shop or the antique shop, something like that." And I was like, "Okay." So I just walked up to her, and I was like, "Hey, can I go upstairs?" And the one thing, she was like, "Well, what's stopping you?" I was like, "Well, there's a sign there that says it's closed." And she was like, "Well, I don't care.
Of course she doesn't care.
And the owner's not here, so just move it out the way. Just move it out the way and just go up there and don't fall." And I was like, "Okay." So I walked over there, and there was people in there when I first initially walked in, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do it in front of them. So I was just like walking around in circles waiting for them to leave, and they were taking forever. And then when they left, I was like, "All right, let's go." And then I
Oh my
went and moved
goodness.
it, and I was like, "All right." And then when I was coming back down, you guys came back in.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I told Anna and Iris, I think
Mhm.
Iris was with you.
Oh, you told them that I was able to.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh my god, we need to go catch up to him."
And Iris and I were like, let's go.
Yeah, and then you guys made me stick my hand up into the attic because there was like a little hole, and I
Oh,
felt like I was
yeah.
going to get attacked by spiders.
Well, because you were the taller one. It
I
wasn't like
was,
we were
yeah.
able to like get up
Oh
there.
my god, yeah.
But it wasn't, there wasn't anything. You put your phone up there, huh?
Yeah, it's empty. It was just full of spiders.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was it. We didn't see anything.
I know. We should have forced you to go into the casino.
No. When I was inside the little,
Schoolhouse?
no, not the schoolhouse, the instrument and kitchen, you know,
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was just me and Theo in there. And when I was in the back kitchen, my guys were telling me like it's worse in the kitchen area. But I just kind of meandered over there because Theo was going over there. And by the way, Theo was playing the keyboards and everything. They still work. And I was like, not touching things.
Yeah.
But in the corner of my eye, I saw like a man standing at the doorway, and I thought it was like, oh, another like guest is coming to kind of look, but
Mhm.
there's just nobody. And so I'm like, okay. So
Oh,
Is that the only thing you saw there?
yeah.
Did you see anything?
I didn't see anything there, but I did get a weird feeling in that room. I like going back there, but I was just like, I'm gonna check it out.
Mhm. Yeah.
Why not? We're
Why
here.
not? Let's do
But
it.
it was definitely a very uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I didn't stay back there in the kitchen area for too long.
Yeah. It was a little almost like nervous kind of feeling
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Yeah.
Definitely felt like things were like watching. Like,
Yeah.
When you got back, did you have to cleanse yourself or did you have to do anything? Did anything follow you back?
No, I don't think anything followed me, but just to be like on the safe side, I did wash us. But
Okay.
I'm like, just to be safe, just gonna do it.
thank you so much for coming on and talking
Hey,
to us.
thank
Yeah.
you for having me on again.
So lastly, what would you rate Locke on a 1 to 10 for fear factor?
1.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1 too.
You said 1 through what?
0.5.
1 through 10.
A 1 through 10. I'd be with Anna. Like,
Like a 1.
no, not 1. To me, it's more like a 3.
Okay, yours is a 3. Anna
Mhm.
said 1. I agree.
Oh, question.
Yeah.
The school. What did you feel?
You know, I thought it was wild that you and Iris sat on the desk. Like it was just park benches. And I felt like it was a time capsule where there was just bustling of people going about and it was noisy.
Oh.
It felt like stuffy. You know, like when you rub a mic or something.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
What
didn't
about
sense
you?
anything in there.
No?
Mm-mm. It felt more calm out of all
Oh
the
yeah.
other places.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But other than that, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sit down.
My
Oh,
feet
this
hurt.
desk is cute. What's underneath? But that was it. I didn't feel anything. If I felt something like maybe malicious, then I'd probably be like, okay. gonna walk in and then walk back out. But I was just like, it's pretty calm in here. So
No, I didn't feel anything malicious in there. It just
Yeah.
felt like a time capsule. Yeah.
Well, we will let you go.
Okay.
about your day.
okay. Is it cold down there?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. But
it's 49.
it's 49 and it smells like poop over here.
Oh no. Are you
Oh,
guys out in the country?
Ish.
Borderline?
We're like in the newer side of Merced where they're developing more subdivisions.
There's a bunch of farms over here too.
But I just keep thinking back to, you know how like in the old days where they used to put possessed people in like poop water?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just like, it's okay. These poop smell is scaring away the ghost.
My
Not,
head went
but yeah.
my head went to, well, if Scott gets possessed, you're just gonna get some of the poop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go smear it on him. Let's
You smear poop on me?
All right, nice seeing you guys. Let the kids back in. Tell Iris I
know.
said hi.
okay.
Bye.
Have a good one, Anna.
Okay, and I can talk to Anna forever, but that was
true.
so amazing that she made time to kind of share with what she felt and what she saw. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed that interview. But I want to share that what happened the next day for me was very peculiar. So the day when we got back home from Locke, I cleansed Scott, I cleansed Iris and Theo. You know, I sprayed Deja on all of them, and we hopped over fire. Everything felt normal, right? You know, nobody fell off or anything.
Yeah.
But then, you know, the next day when I went to Wanning, there was these two. Gosh, what are they called? There was these two like Pichu looking dogs that just approached me, and then they were like behind them was this entity, and I had to fight off said entity. And then when I was done, I had asked Scott to, because at that point I was standing on my bench, and so usually the Husha, which was Scott who was watching me, he's supposed to put me down. Usually I just say, okay, I'm done, I'm ready to get down, he'll put me down. But then get this, you guys, when I said I was done, the quiet, it's cricket. And I'm like, where the heck is he? I was like, hello? I'm done. And then you just hear in the way back by the living room, oh, okay. What do you mean? Oh, okay. Like, I was like, why does he sound so far away? Like, I'm not computing. And then the only thing I could utter out was like, you left me alone. And then we went back to my journey. And so after when I came out of my trance, I was like, I can't believe you. Why did you leave me? You know, you're not supposed to leave me. You never do that. And then, why don't you share what was going on your end?
Yeah, so it was really hot in there. I don't know what it was, but for some reason it was extremely hot.
I wonder why.
And I was like, I was feeling like I was gonna like pass out. I was so hot. So I was like, damn, if I'm feeling that way, Liz is probably like really hot because she has her veil on and she's breathing and she's doing all this movement. So I was like, damn, if I'm feeling this way, she might feel worse. So I was like, I mean, I just need to go turn the AC down real quick. So I just ran over there, turned the AC down, and within the 20 seconds of me walking over there to turn it down, all of a sudden you're done. I'm like, oh no.
That's not how I remembered it. He was like, well, you know, I was starting to feel faint.
I was hot.
I was like, where are you? Where are you feeling faint? I don't give a like, you need to stay there behind me no matter what. If you need something, text Iris, like, open a window.
Yeah, I never left you standing on the bench before. That was weird. But yeah, that was a funny moment. I got lectured a lot that day.
Anyways, thank you so much for sticking around and, just really following us on our journey to Locke that you all voted for.
But yeah, anyways, we really appreciate you guys joining us during this year. We started doing this out of just vlogging and trying to
I know.
do fun things for our
It's been
kids
almost
to
a
remember.
year.
Yeah, we started in February, and you guys have been with us the whole time, and we really appreciate you guys' support and
Thank you so much.
helping us build this community. And until then, we will see you beginning of next year so we
Yeah.
can continue this path.
Yep. All right.
Until next
Bye,
time.
you guys.